other parts after that happened. So I'm having an issue with having that being brought up now. The fact that you had said you had to know who I was before you were let into my house. You led by that as the argument to say that you're fake and you slept with everybody, all the doctors in the hospital. I'm like, wait, whoa, why are we not? I think Nicole was trying to say, hey, where can we go to start from zero? And he went to accusations and then now rumors. And that's when it was like, I think too much, because as a professional myself, I have to put myself in the situation to be able to have an opinion. And I said to myself, what would I do? Somebody says, I heard you ruined 16 weddings. I'll be like, wait, what are you talking about? And what are you doing? You're slandering me and you're calling me out for something I didn't do. And people run with it. I love the sensationalism. So I understand Nicole's point to be upset. I have to. I'm a business owner and I own my own business, but Nicole works for somebody else. So she can't have the luxury of saying, oh, whatever. It doesn't roll off her shoulders. It goes to HR. It goes to HR, you know? Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal, right?
It's an institution. It's not like she's working for like one accountant or something like that. She works for like a big hospital. So there's a hierarchy. And when they hear something, they say something. So what happens is there's a whole thing about, is there a rumor? We need to investigate. So maybe Nicole's right now going through an investigation and they just want to make sure things are okay. People are not, you have to think bigger to understand the trickle down effect of people's words. And that's the issue that we need to understand as a group, is that there are boundaries to rumors.
There are boundaries to rumors. Yeah. What about Julia? We see, this season, like her and Martina, they're, it seemed to be that they were adopting a child. Like, I know like Martina has just like been diagnosed with like 2 different stages and 2 different forms of cancer. Like, have you spoken to her or Julia?
Of course. The day it happened, I'm on as soon as I heard it, and I've been connected with them. Martina texted me. I spoke to Julia. I love them. And, you do this, you pray and you do this and you pray and wish, so.
You pray and wish, because that's when stuff is like bigger than the show.
Yes, of course. And I hope that the other ladies did that too and put the petty shit aside, Yeah.
How is Julia doing? Is she's
positive? Okay? Both of them are very positive, and that's what I want to hear. I wanted to just make sure they knew that you tackle this on and you give it your 1,000%. And the good news is that Martina is a champion. So she knows how to take on a challenge. And I felt good about it, because I'm like, if anybody can beat this, is the champion over here. So I'm very thankful and happy that she has that mindset and is able to, and I hope that they're able to fight this battle, successfully.
I hope so, because that's what's important. Yeah. Before we move on from this, do you think like Julia would leave the show? Because this is a lot to deal with.
I think that she's a great, amazing ambassador for gay rights, for the whole Love is Love movement. I think we need her for more than just that. And I hope not. I think she's amazing and she's lovable, sweet, and she's feisty. She's a lot of different things. Like all of us, we're all layered people, and that's what makes the show different. Like, people are like, oh, you're better than this franchise. I'm like, we're not better. We're just different. Miami, I feel like you can't compare it, in my opinion, to anything, because it has a completely different recipe,
Are you aware, though, that there are franchises that, they're off? There's a lot of franchises that are they're just having, and Miami is literally better than ever. So, like, are you aware? Like, that
I'm aware of what we're doing right, and I'm too focused on other stuff that I can't be like, oh, I never play comparatives ever in my life. I stay in my lane, and I just think that I just know that we're great right now. We're great, and I just hope it continues, and that we have some boundaries. I think it's important to have a little bit of boundaries, because then it takes us to the place where now you're comparing, because which show is worse in toxicity? And that's where I do not want to belong. I don't want to be part of that,
What do you think should be off limits, that's out of boundaries?
Kids and people's living, like the way they make money, the way they live, the honest living, right? So if I'm a party planner and I have someone say, oh, I was comparing your planning skills, or oh, I was comparing aesthetics to 2 different types of events, those type of things hurt. I'm glad that I'm Teflon, in a sense, where I've done this for 20 years and I don't need one bad apple to ruin my whole batch, thank God. but it's not the same for someone like Nicole. You know, there's a code of honor and code of conduct where that gets followed through in a corporate world. And I'm not able to understand that for Nicole, but I can empathize about it, you know? So there are consequences. And I think that it's not worth it in the sense of like, we're a great ensemble, and why maybe do some things that are too extensive to being toxic, you know? So we have to think before we speak sometimes.
I think kids and career is a good two things to have off limits. Well, like you said, you know, Lisa, it's one of the more shocking things that has happened this season. Yes. Like, were you shocked? I mean, we saw your reactions on the screen, like when this happened. Like, were you shocked to hear about this whole divorce?
And apparently, I'm scaring people. Oh my goodness, I'm scaring people that they can't sit across from me because I just can't deal with all that. When we're almost all of us are from the Caribbeans, and we're, you know, I mean, Cuban, Puerto Rican, Haitian, whatever it is, and it's just kind of like so hypocritical to like call out someone for something that we're all doing or you're doing. The person is like, it's kind of like, and now I'm scary. I'm this big bad monster.
I have very expressive facial expressions too, so I understand. It's like you either do or you don't. It just is a thing, right?
There you go. Some faces move more than others too.
Well, mine is shot full of Botox, so mine doesn't move as much. And by the way,
I'll be in line right behind you as soon as I'm really seeing this as a problem right now. I think I'm good.
You do not need it.
Thank you.
Are you shocked though about like Lisa and Lenny and like everything that they're going through? And
you see, like you said, you see it's written all over my face. I just cannot. And the thing is that it just keeps happening, and it's consistent every other day. And it's in the news. They're talking. It's like, why are you talking? You're the aggressor. Like, it's not real to me. I feel like it's like, this is not real. Not real. 15 years later, not real. And that's why I'm like, I was so shocked. I'm like, 27 years, 15 years. I'm like, what? Where did you get this from? Who behaves this way so far into a relationship? So it's really, really weird. And I'm just glad to see that she's in a better place now.
How is she? Like, I mean, you speak to her. How is she doing?
Yeah, well, she just texted me last night. We've been trying to get together for like a month. Every day is like tomorrow. No, next week. She has a busy schedule, and I'm glad, and that she's focused on her kids. You know, that's what matters. And so my advisement to her was like, stay in the Lisa lane. It's only you and the kids now. You have to realize it. You know, and you still hear her like, I still love him. I want to get back with him, but it's not good for you, and you need to move on. And sometimes people got to get the clap on. Hey, let's go to this, make a right into this highway. And that was my intent, but I think it was just kind of like edited in a way where I'm just kind of crazy talking. And there was more to that whole scene, of course, but you know, it is what it is. I meant what I said, and I said what I said.
That is good advice though, because it's on page 6 every other day. They're talking to the press. There's a lot of press involved.
Yeah, it's bad. And I'm just hoping that she's just keeping her head down and just, you know, focusing. It's all about focus at this point, you know, and knowing your worth.